Ready to crown your holiday meal? In this video, we're counting down the top 4 festive main dishes and desserts for Christmas. Watch now for everything from rich veal roulade to the ultimate molten chocolate cake. Starting our festive countdown at number 4. This is a holiday centerpiece, the magnificent fire-roasted leg of Welsh lamb au jus.
Take a look at this, fresh from my favorite butcher, a bone-in leg of lamb. What I like about lamb is it is big and rich and full of flavor, and therefore you can use big and rich flavors to help it along. I'm going to use a little rosemary, which adds a savory, crisp flavor to it. We've got some fresh, floral and fragrant thyme. And then to round the mix out, some amazing, almost lemony sage. Beautiful marinade, lemon, fresh herbs, garlic, super simple. It's a marinade-y rub kind of thing. But before I start applying it to the lamb, let me just sliver up a couple of cloves of garlic. Fancy? This leg of lamb, I'm going to make a couple of incisions along the top surface and 1 or 2 on the underside, right down to the bone. You're just going to insert the cloves of garlic into these incisions. Now, I'm pretty eager to get it in the oven, so that's what we're going to do. Nest in the leg of lamb, a good slow roast, and I'll check it every once in a while to make sure it's just doing what I wanted to do. So my leg of lamb has been in the oven about 45, almost 50 minutes, and I'm going to give it a quick check, see how it's doing. That looks pretty spectacular. So what I'm going to do is wrap the thin end with a little aluminum foil so it slows down the cooking of the thin end of the leg, allowing the thicker portion of the leg to catch up. It's that easy. Would you take a look at that? Look how it's browned so beautifully. A couple of charred areas here. Let's lift it out. Cover it with some foil. And in the bottom of this pan, that's all the golden goodness I'm looking for. Perfect for my roast potatoes. Look at this roasted garlic. That's really going to intensify the flavor of that gravy. Bones back in. I've got my pan on the stove top. It's going to brown off the last bit of these root vegetables. Mash up that garlic. Just a sprinkling of flour. I just like to add that to thicken up. And if there's some white, there has to be some red with the lamb a little later on. So it seems fitting it should be part of the gravy. Just take a look at the color in the bottom of that pan already. Now, the lamb stock, because you never know when you're going to need it for such an occasion. A drizzle of gravy. And this is a roast dinner.
Moving up to number 3, we feature a spectacular main course. We have the incredibly comforting potato ricotta gnocchi with braised winter greens.
You know, the key with making perfect gnocchi is to boil the potatoes in their skins. The drier the potato, the less flour you have to add. Perfect. So we'll add a little ricotta cheese. Added flavor, I have these beautiful, slow-roasted buds of garlic. And of course, I've got to use a little of that garlic oil in there. Just watch how easily this bud breaks down. That is roasted garlic heaven. So before we start rolling the gnocchi out and forming them, we should do a little test. It'll take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook. It'll float to the top, another 30, maybe 45 seconds more, and then ready to lift out and have the taste test. It's looking good. Has a nice firmness to it, but not overly firm. That's a good start. Cut the dough in half and start to gently roll. About 1/2 inch. The back of a fork, lightly floured, and give it a gentle roll. So now the gnocchi's rolled and shaped. The next step is for me to prepare the pancetta and winter greens that I'll be serving them with. This, my friends, it's pork belly that's been cured, hung to dry. These are cinnamon cap mushrooms. And the last piece of the puzzle is just to tear up some wonderful winter greens. Oh, I almost forgot. A little fresh thyme. First job, fry off this pancetta. That is pure flavor. My water's boiling, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes at the most, and these gnocchi will be ready. Oh, look at that. Beautiful bright colors, the aroma, a little bit of juice from the wine and the stock. Just needs a little knob of butter to add a touch of richness. A little more butter into my pan. So these gnocchi are now getting a bath in this nut brown butter. Now I'm gonna plate. It's the finishing touches, little love on the presentation. Gotta grab some of this juice. And these lovely, light and fluffy gnocchi. And of course, a pasta is not a pasta without Parmigiano Reggiano. I think I said this was heaven. It truly is. It's heaven on earth.
Claiming the runner-up spot at number 2, the tender and rich tomato braised veal roulade.
So I'm just taking a little bit of the excess fat off, but not too much, because we all know the fat is what gives us flavor. It is going to be scrumptiously delicious. So the first seasoning I'm going to add are these absolutely toasted fennel seeds. A light sprinkle. Next, a little cinnamon stick. We know that, and where there's cinnamon, there has to be nutmeg. It's all about the seasonings for the holidays. Next, a little fresh citrus. And you'll know, between the orange citrusy scent and that fennel, it's a special meal. A little thyme, just broken off the branches, the leaves loosely falling, sage leaf. That's it. I'm ready to roll and tie my veal breast. It's all about the sear on my veal breast. The pan is good and hot. Little slick of oil. And listen to that music. I had some of the toasted fennel left over from the seasoning, so I might as well put it in. And if you remember that tangerine that I used the zest, let's cut it in half and add that juice. Canned tomatoes diced, all the juice, in it goes. And just enough chicken stock so that my veal breast is almost covered with liquid. These are the rinds of the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. It's looking delicious already. That is absolutely gorgeous. Right on the edge of the plate. And now the sauce. Oh, so fitting at this time of year.
And finally, taking the top spot at number 1, we satisfy that sweet craving with the decadent, holiday-spiced molten chocolate cake.
Some butter. Let's give these a little flour. I'm going to split the vanilla bean. Look at that. Butter and chocolate all melted together. In with the chocolate to my egg mix, just adding a little at a time so it doesn't separate. The chocolate's going to cool down a touch and thicken up. A little flour, some cardamom. And now, some finely ground espresso beans. Just putting the espresso beans through the sieve so they're nice and fine. Have my lightly buttered and floured ramekins, guaranteed to come out of the mold. Look at those. Perfect. A little light crust golden brown. I've got my figs. Look how that red wine has thickened up. And these figs look like they're about to burst. It's almost jumping out of the ramekin. A dollop of whipped cream. A little powdered sugar. And a touch more of the fig poaching liquid. I always think of dessert as the grand finale to a meal, and this one is a showstopper. Now, the moment of truth, when I cut it open, I want to see the molten chocolate run. That is nice.